Hello, dear students. So, as I promised in the class that I will be providing you a recording for the two topics. One is the government audit and the other one is going to be FEMA. So, first of all, I'm extremely sorry for the delay in giving this video because I had multiple things going on, especially with my eye, and then I also had some issues with my system. However, nevertheless, it is never too late to be done. So, I'm going to first cover up with the government audit for you in this particular video. And this is exclusively only for May 25 students because my teaching approach is going to be exactly the way it was in the class. So it will be very comfortable and easy for you to understand. And after this, I'll be sending you all the important aspects of FEMA, which I think would be sufficient for the coming examination. Okay, so let's get started with a government audit, which is basically the chapter 9, the first part of it, which is special features of the audit of different types of entities. Okay, now just to give you a little backdrop, as we always do, in case of government audit, throughout the course of audit syllabus, I have introduced you with the concept that government audit and the audit of other companies or other organization, there is going to be a difference. Reason being, in government, you can talk about a government controlled company. You have government departments. Okay, you have government undertakings. There are public sector undertakings, etc. Like you have the income tax department, the GST department. Then you have government companies like we have the Navratna, all those companies like we have BHEL, we have ONGC, okay, HPCL, all these companies are there. Okay, so there are all the companies where more than or not less than 51% of the stake is held by either central or state or jointly by central or state government. We categorize them to be government companies. So here we discuss about all government controlled entities, be a government company, be a government department, be a government undertaking, whatever it is, everything will be covered by this thing. Okay, now, first of all, understand in our country, in the central government, there is a department called as Indian Accounts and Audit Department. Okay, this department is headed by Comptroller Auditor General of India. So basically, by now, you must be thinking that audit of government entities or the government corporations or government companies is under the control of CAG. That is correct. Apart from that, you also have to understand that how accounts have to be maintained. Okay. Verification of the accounts, helping in the preparation of the accounts, giving the format for the preparation of the accounts, verifying the accuracy of it. So basically, when we talk about financial matters, we talk about administration matters, we talk about operational matters, everything about a government controlled entity is taken care of by the Indian Accounts and Department, that is the Comptroller Auditor General of India. So here the scope of our coverage is not only going to be with verification of books of accounts or examination of financial statements. You need to understand that when you talk about government audit, it does not connect only with the financial aspect, but it also includes operational activities. It also includes all the administrative activities. So we have very clear understanding that audit is what independent examination, systematic examination, correct? Professional examination. But here you don't only say financial matters, you are also going to use the words like it includes financial, administrative, and operational matters. And at the end of the day, what is our duty? To give an opinion on the financial statements. So you can give opinion on the financial statements when you look at the financials. But when you talk about operational and when you talk about administrative matters, then in that case, we have to examine those. And then if you believe there are some kind of recommendation measures to be given or some kind of, measures for improvement has to be suggested, then the CAG is required to do the same. Clear? So what is government audit? Very simple. It is examination of all the three areas: financial, administrative, operational. Financial means financial statement. So you have to give opinion on the financial statement and opinion will be on true and fair view. But when we talk about operational administration, then you have to understand that you're going to examine these operations and where there is a requirement for improvement, that same thing also has to be provided for. That is, you have to give measures for improvement. Okay. Then we are going to study about the objective of government audit. As I already told you, all three areas will be covered. So not only financial, admin, as well as operational activities also will be taken care of. So that is the objective of the government audit. Then we'll be discussing about this particular authority called as Comptroller Auditor General of India. Okay, so first let us take the three elements together and then we'll progress through the topic. So from your textbook, I'm on page number 9.1. We are doing special features of the audit of different types of entities. The first one, that is government audit. So look at that. The definition will go in line with what I explained to you just now. Government audit may be defined as objective, systematic, professional, and independent examination. These words are not new to you. In fact, systematic and independent, you already know. Objective is nothing but the quality that we are using it. So it's objective, systematic. Obviously, professional standards have to be followed. So it is professional, as well as independent, what? Examination. But only financial matters are not covered. So of financial, administrative, and other operations of which entity? Public entity. For what purpose? For the purpose of evaluating and verifying them and presenting a report. So when you do audit, you present a report containing explanatory comments on the audit findings together with the conclusion and recommendation. So administrative matters, operational matters, you verify them, and then you give an explanation as to all the observations that you have come across. And whatever is your conclusion, you give that. And where you have to give recommendation, you also give the recommendation. And when you look at financial aspects, you're looking into financial statements. So look at that. And in the case of examination of financial statement, expressing an appropriate professional opinion regarding the fairness of the presentation. Okay. So if you look at this definition, it's quite exhaustive, very properly covered. Okay. So first point is objective, systematic, professional, independent. About three matters: financial, administrative, and operational. Of which entity is public entity. So you verify, you evaluate them, then you prepare a report, give an explanation regarding all your comments and conclusions. And if you believe there is a measure for improvement, then you also have to provide the recommendation for the future actions to be taken by those officials. Officials as in all the people who are handling the businesses, government sectors, the government departments, the government companies, etc. And obviously, when you look at financial statements, you are required to give an opinion on the true and fair view of the financial statements. That is on the fairness of the presentation. Clear? So that is government audit. Now, if you look at government objective of the government audit, first is accounting of the public funds. Okay, now I told you very well, your only audit is not considered to be examination. You are also going to help in accounting. So the Indian Accounts and Department, that is the Comptroller Auditor General of India, is also responsible for the purpose of providing accounting of the public funds. That is, public funds are nothing but all the taxation collected, all the amounts collected by the government. Okay, these have to be properly accounted for. Then government spends a lot of money. These have to be properly accounted for. So accounting of public funds, the money collected from the public, money used for the public. That's called accounting. So who is responsible for it? CAG. Appraisal of government policies. That means government policies are made. Every now and then you'll see a new policy coming in by the government. These policies have to be approved. These policies have to be verified, whether they have been implemented correctly, followed correctly or not. This also will come under CAG. Then I told you here, you don't only evaluate, but you also provide measures for improvement. So basically, it is a basis for corrective action. For example, if you look into Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, it is one of the programs conducted by the central government. Now, if suppose this policy has been verified or this program is getting it verified, whether it's performed properly, it is achieving its objectives or not. Suppose during the course of the verification, if there is any kind of problem noticed, then this will be a basis for corrective actions to be taken by the department. Okay, then administrative accountability, because finances are covered, because operations are covered, even admin is covered by whom? CAG. So even administrative accountability, that is who is responsible for what, is also taken care by the government audit. Okay, so let's read it correctly. Accounting for public funds. Government audit serves as a mechanism or a process for public accounting of government funds. Public accounting for government funds. That is government funds, how it is used for the public. Public accounting for government funds. Appraisal of government policy. It also provides public accounting of operational, management program, and policy aspects of public administration, as well as accountability of the officials administering them. So whether the amount is used correctly and the people responsible are using it correctly. Base for corrective action. Audit observation based on the factual data collected also serves as the highlight of the lapse of lower hierarchy, thus helping supervisory level officers to take corrective measures. Now tell me, people who make the policy are the people who are going to actually operate them also? No. So basically through this audit, you'll be able to understand the people at the lower level who are actually implementing this policy. If they have done some any mistake, then don't you think this audit will help the people who are supervising it to take corrective action? The answer to that is yes. Meaning is, you'll have top level people who prepare the policy. These people will direct the lower level people that you have to follow all these procedures. So if there is a problem in the implementation by the lower level, this will get highlighted and will be informed to whom? The supervisory level. So government audit will serve as a measure for corrective actions for the supervisory people. That is top level people to take care of the bottom people who are actually working. Then comes to administrative accountability. The main objective of the audit is the combination of ensuring accountability of administration to whom legislature and functioning as an aid to administration. Meaning of this sentence is administration to the legislature. Legislatures are the lawmakers. So people who are making it. So you are accountable to them. So whether you have done it correctly or not. So government audit, understand, at the end will be presented where in the parliament and all. So basically people who made the law, made the policy, made the program, they will be able to understand whether people who are responsible for it are doing their work correctly and whether functions have been carried out correctly or not. So that is called administrative accountability. Okay. So this will be one good reading at your end. I think it would be sufficient. Objective of government audit is accounting of the public fund, appraisal of the government policy, base for corrective action, and finally administrative accountability. Administrative accountability. Remember these terms. Okay. Side heading has to be correct. The inside English, you can use your own words. Now comes to legal framework of CAG. This could be relevant for MCQ questions. So understand. First of all, you should know that Comptroller Auditor General of India is a person actually. He's the head of the department. But then you need to understand that one person cannot take care of all the audits and all. So he is a person responsible for it. So under him, multiple auditors will be appointed. Under him, a lot of people will be appointed. A team will be there who are going to do the audit, look into the verification of accounts, look into administrative aspects, operational aspects. They will prepare the report and give it to whom? The CAG. So CAG is responsible for all this to happen. So we say the responsibility of the audit and accounts of government entities is controlled by whom? CAG. Now, who is CAG? CAG is a person who is appointed by the President of India. Remember it? It is coming from where? The President of India. Just for your knowledge, President of India appoints, but the nomination of it comes from the Prime Minister. Nomination part is not given to you. It's just like a general knowledge. I'm giving it to you. The nomination of CAG is from the Prime Minister, but the appointment will happen by the President of India. Okay. Second, what will be the tenure? Tenure as in, he will hold the office for a continuous period of 6 years or at the age of 65, whichever is earlier. Okay, so maximum period that he can hold the office is 6 years. But in that 6 years period, if he turns 65, then the age for superannuation, that is retirement, is considered to be how much? 65. So over and above 65, you're not allowed to become the CAG. So because of that, either 6 years or 65, whichever is earlier. Now, can CAG resign from the office? The answer is yes. Can CAG be removed? For this also the answer is yes, but this authority is very premium. It's very high level. So obviously both the House of Parliament, upper house and lower house, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, here 2/3 of the majority have to agree to be removing him. And more importantly, it has to be proven misbehavior. The meaning of proven misbehavior is on any ad hoc reasons, he cannot be removed. It has to be clearly understood that there has been something which has been as a breach at his end, at his professional duties. Only then, and that too after 2/3 majority agree, then only he can be removed. One more important point. What is the salary paid to CAG? The salary of CAG will be equivalent to the judge of Supreme Court. To the judge of Supreme Court. These are the basic points that you have to remember as a part of CAG's understanding. So look at the appointment. CAG shall be appointed by the President of India. Term will be 6 years or up to the age of 65, whichever is earlier. Remuneration, he will be paid a salary equivalent to that of the, don't use the word salary, use the word remuneration as a judge of Supreme Court. Removal, can he be removed? Yes. CAG can be removed only when each house, that is upper house and lower house of the parliament, decide to do so by majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. CAG shall not be removed from the office except on the ground of proven misbehavior. The word proven is very important. Then power and duty of CAG will completely come from the legislature, that is the parliament will decide it. CAG shall perform such duties and exercise such powers in relation to accounts of the union and the state. Union means central government. State means all the state governments. And any other authority or body as may be prescribed by or under the law made by the parliament. Okay, so CAG will have responsibility towards the union department, that is the central government, towards the state department. And now when I'm going to do duties of CAG, you'll come across some more entities which are covered by CAG. For example, government companies. Then we have something called as substantially financed by the government. So these are all the bodies which come under whom? Government, and they also come under the control of CAG. So how they are going to perform the duty will be decided by the parliament. Clear? Okay, that is about Article 149 of the Constitution tells that the power of CAG will come from the parliament. Then maintenance of accounts, very, very important. Listen to this point very clearly. Understand CAG's explanation or powers and duties are everything given where in Constitution of the country. So nobody can even touch it. Understand? Constitution, that means the constitution of our country talks about the powers, duties, and everything regarding CAG. And you know, in constitution, we use the word article, not sections. Okay? Where I told you have movies and all. Okay, when we say abrogation of this article, then Article 375 and everything. So basically, all these are articles, nothing but what powers given in the constitution. So CAG's power and recognition is there in the constitution. So it is what Article 149, Article 150, and Article 151. Article 149 talks about power is given by the parliament. Article 150 talks about accounts of union and the other states, that is accounts of the central government and the state government, shall be kept as the president may on the advice of CAG prescribe. So the format of how to prepare the books of accounts for central government and state government will be given by whom? President. But president will take the consultation from whom? Obviously the CAG. That is given where in Article 150. And Article 151 tells that the report of CAG will prepare the report on what? Accounts of union and the state. He will submit it. Union department means central government will give it to the president. And state government, he will give it to the governor of the state. Understand? Central government will be submitted to the president. So union will go to the president. State government will go to the state governors. Correct? Who shall then cause them to lay in the parliament or the state legislature. So it is going to be like this. CAG preparing the report on the accounts of the union will go to the president. It will go to the parliament. CAG on the accounts of the state will go to the state governor, and state government will lay it where? In state legislative assembly. That for all of us is Vidhan Sabha. Correct? So it is going to be like that. So remember the hierarchy correctly here. Union, president, parliament, state, governor, state legislature. Okay, it's like that. Okay, that is the understanding regarding Article 149, 150 and 151. Now comes to duties of CAG. You don't have to study the duties verbatim like this one after the other. Every single paragraph will be a separate question altogether. Okay, now first, tell me in the beginning, I have already explained it to you that CAG will not only be responsible for audit. He is also responsible for the accounting of the public department. That is, be union department, be state departments, or any other government companies, entities. For the compilation and submission of the accounts, also CAG will be responsible. So look at that. CAG shall be responsible for compiling the accounts of, again, central government, that is union, or the state government. And we know in India, we have union territory. So it could be central government, it could be state government, or it could be union territory. And now understand, compilation means preparation, that is compiling all the accounts together. And you have to submit it also. So union department's accounts will get submitted to the president. State government account will get submitted to the state governors. And union territory will have administrators. So they will get submitted to the administrator. So look at that and submit these accounts to whom? President, governor, or the administrator. President will be for state government, that is union we call it. State government will go to the governor and union territory will go to the administrator. Clear? Okay, so first duty is what? To compile first and then submit it. Compile their accounts of union, state and union territory and submit to the respective department, that is going to be president, governor, administrator. Clear? Then providing information and rendering assistance. CAG should provide such information to the union or state. That means we have submitted the accounts to whom? Union, and the account of the union and state to the president and the governor and the administrators. So if they require some more information, who will be the right person to give information? CAG. CAG should provide such information to the union or the state or the union territory as they may require from time to time and render such assistance for the preparation of annual financial statement that they reasonably ask for. That is, whatever information they require for the preparation of annual financial statements, that will be provided by CAG. Okay, time to time whenever they require. Now comes to auditing and reporting. So ultimately after accounting, we come to audit. Now look at that. CAG should audit and report on all the expenditure from, now this word you're going to learn new today. Okay, next, all transactions of union and state. And then you have all trading, manufacturing, P&L and balance sheet. Now understand the first word. Consolidated fund. In India, we have two types of funds maintained by the government. One is called consolidated fund. Other is called contingency fund. Contingency fund, moreover, in your syllabus is not covered, but I'll give the explanation to you so that you know it. But what is consolidated fund? Every state government, every union territory, and central government at the main ultimate power, all of them will be having a separate fund maintained called as the consolidated fund. How we have the investor education fund, insolvency and bankruptcy funds that we have studied in company law. On the same lines, we also have this fund called as the consolidated fund. Now, many a times you have a doubt in your mind that in the Indian government is collecting so much taxes. You have income tax getting collected, you have GST getting collected, you still have some places customs, excise getting collected. Okay, there are so many taxes being collected. Now, where does all this money go? So basically, all this money actually goes and settles to this account called as consolidated fund. So this fund is nothing but all the collection of taxes, revenue, everything which the government is earning will go and settle in this particular fund. Then every year on 1st of February, you will see that the finance minister will announce the budget and tell that we are going to spend on this project so much, we are going to spend on the infrastructure so much, on the roads so much, on education so much, on agriculture so much, etc., etc. So basically, the expending that is which is happening is also happening from this fund. So basically, we can say that money will get credited to the fund and money will be used from this fund. This fund will be maintained at union. This fund will be maintained at the state. This fund will be maintained at the union territory. Correct? So basically, all the expenditures that are going to be incurred from the consolidated fund of what? Whether union, whether state or union territory. Okay, for that, we have to do the audit of it, obviously, because expenditure is a very important thing in case of government companies, government corporations, government entities. Reason being, expenditure is done by the officials, public money, accountability, very important. So first thing they say, CAG should audit and report first on what? Expenditure. Expenditure from where you do? Consolidated funds. Of what? Union, that is India, state, union territory, having legislative assembly, union territory having legislative assembly, and to determine whether money disbursed, that is money you just spent from that fund, is legally available for and applicable to the purpose for which they were applied. Legally available for and applicable means what? In the budget, they have actually given a provision for the spending and have actually spent accordingly. So they have told we are spending on road, we are going to spend 10,000 crores. So whether it is for road and whether it is within 10,000 crore, all that we have to do the audit for. So whether it is legally available, is budget really made for it? And did we spend within the authority or not? Okay, that is the thing we have to check. First is expenditure. Second, all the other transaction, income, expenditure, whatever is there of union as well as state pertaining to what? Contingency fund. So all income, all expenditure from which fund? Contingency. Contingency funds are nothing but they are funds maintained by state, India as well as the union territory, but these are used in contingencies. So in India, we had this very catastrophic thing which happened in Uttarakhand in 2013 when there was a huge flood happening. So the Uttarakhand government would not be having so much fund to, come back or revive again. So that time they take money from all the contingency funds maintained by all the other states or the union. Similarly, when tsunami hit, okay, that time there was huge loss. Okay, so first the state government will use their contingency funds for all of this. If they are insufficient, then they'll be taking loans from the other states and all. They'll be giving from where? Contingency funds. So by the word itself, you understand contingency is all for these kind of natural calamities, catastrophes, something which is all of a sudden. Okay, for that we are using this kind of funds. That is called contingency fund. It has a purpose behind it. And then you have all the government companies, so they have to maintain trading account, they have to maintain manufacturing account, they have to maintain P&L account, they have to maintain balance sheet. Okay, all of these audit will be done by the CAG and report will be prepared accordingly. Okay, so there are three things on which audit you conduct. One is all the expenditure from the consolidated funds to see whether whatever money is disbursed from the funds is actually legally available and whether it has been spent within the limit. Second, all the transactions, that is income and expenditures, everything we have to check with respect to contingency fund. And then all the other corporations like LIC is there, all the other companies like ONGC, etc., whether they are properly preparing trading, manufacturing, P&L, balance sheet, we have to do the audit and prepare a report accordingly. Clear? All right. Now, next one is one important one, audit of receipts and expenditure of substantially financed entities. So I told you government companies come under CAG. I told you government corporations will come under CAG. Government department will come under CAG. Now, what are these again? What are these different types of elements which are telling? These also will come under CAG. Understand they are not government entities or they are not government controlled entities. But during the year, there has been some very unique feature over it, because of which now they will come under the purview of government audit. That is CAG will take into account. Who are those? Where any body or authority is substantially financed by a grant or loan from where? Consolidated fund. Now, consolidated fund who's maintaining? Either state or the central government. So there is one entity which is not a government controlled entity. But in a year, what happened is government gave them a grant or a loan. And this grant and loan is coming from where? Consolidated fund. The grant is so much then it is covering 75% of the expenditure. So look at that. Of India's state or union territory. CAG shall audit and report on all the receipts and expenditure of that body or authority. So there is a corporation. This is not controlled by the government absolutely. But in this year, what happened is this A entity has received a government grant. This government grant obviously comes from where? Consolidated fund. This grant is covering substantial part. Okay. Then we say that this year, this body will also be audited by whom? CAG. Now, what do you mean by substantially financed? Meaning is the grant or loan in a financial year is not less than either 25 lakh rupees or such grant or loan is not less than 75% of the total expenditure. So two conditions. It should not be less than 25 lakh. And whatever expenditure you have incurred, it should not be less than 75% of it. So if it is 100 crores, 75 lakhs have to be this grant. Then we call it to be what? Substantially financed. So it should be more than 25 lakhs and it should be able to cover 75% of the expenditure. If both these conditions are fulfilled, then we call this entity to be what? Substantially financed. Now, this year, this entity, though not government controlled, though not government corporation, though not government department, but because it has got money from government consolidated fund, and it is substantially getting financed in that year from the government, which means 25 lakh rupees, and it is covering 75% of their expenditure of the year, then in that case, for this year, their audit will also be done by whom? CAG. Clear? Okay, that is the understanding. So first one was what? Compilation and submission. So they compile the accounts and submit to the respective authority. Then they'll provide information as and when the state and union requires. Then they do the audit of expenditure. Then they do audit of transactions of the contingency funds and all the other companies which will have trading, manufacturing, P&L balance sheet. Then, apart from all the entities, even those entities where they are substantially financed by the government, substantially financed means you have got it for 25 lakhs and it is covering 75% of your own expenditure. Then this year, you will also be coming under audit by CAG. Then we have audit of grants or loans. Now, grants or loans are nothing but what? Money coming in. Where any grant or loan is given for any specific purpose from where? Consolidated fund. So we say, no, this particular company has got a loan from the government. This particular company has got a subsidy from the government. That means the money is coming from where? Consolidated funds. Okay, then whether it has been properly given, whether sanctioning is correct, approved, authorized or not, will also be done by the auditor. Where any grant or loan is given for any specific purpose from the consolidated fund of India, state or union territory to any authority or body not being a foreign state or international organization, CAG shall scrutinize the procedure by which sanctioning authority itself satisfies as fulfillment of the condition subject to which such grant or loan was given. So basically, suppose company A Limited is being sanction a loan of 10 crores or sanction a subsidy of 10 crores. So we have to see whether this 10 crore is given to the correct company, whether company is fulfilling the conditions required to obtain this grant, whether it has been properly sanctioned, properly authorized, everything has to be checked. The audit of grants and loans given from where? Consolidated funds to the companies who fulfill those conditions or any entity which fulfills the conditions. Then we have audit of receipts. Receipt is nothing but your taxes which are collected. So obviously expenditure when we audit, receipts also we have to do the audit. CAG shall audit all the receipts which are payable into the consolidated funds. That money is coming now into the consolidated fund of the India, state and union territory and satisfy himself that the rules and the procedure in that behalf are designed to secure effective check on the assessment. So remember, income tax assessment you do, income tax collection you do, and then proper allocation of revenue are being duly observed. Revenue means GST will go to GST department, income tax will go to income tax department. So that allocation of the revenue should happen correctly. Okay, then. Audit of accounts of stores and stock. So we have government department like railway department is there. We have post office departments. Do they have inventories? Yes. We have ONGC, we have HPCL and all. Do they have stocks and inventories? Yes. So don't we do the audit separately of that? Yes. Because understand pilferation, defalcation, then when you talk about stealing, okay, manipulation is very high in case of government entities. So because of that specific, focus is given on audit of stocks and inventories. CAG shall have authority to audit and report on the accounts of stores and stock kept at the office or department of the union or state. So whatever is there at the union or state departments, the audit of that has to be done by CAG. And ultimately, we know government company, we already studied in the company audit topic that government companies come under audit by the government, that is CAG. So CAG will appoint auditors every year, okay, within 180 days of the commencement of the financial year. These auditors will do the audit and submit the audit report to whom? The Comptroller Auditor General of India. He has the power either to comment upon it or to supplement it. Supplementary report can be prepared either by the same auditor or by any other auditor appointed. Ultimately, this report will be submitted to the central government, that is the president, and which will be laid down in the parliament. This we have discussed as a part of company audit also. Same thing here. Duties and powers of CAG in relation to audit of accounts of government companies shall be performed and exercised by him in accordance with the provisions contained wherein Companies Act 2013. Okay, so very simple point here. Duties are compilation and submission. Second, providing information and assistance as required. Audit report, three things: consolidated funds, contingency funds, and all the other accounts. Substantially financed also come under CADG. Grants and loans, whichever they give, to whom they have given, whether conditions are fulfilled or not, sanctioning authority is correct or not, that also audit we do. Then money that comes in for the assessment, collection, and allocation, whether it is correct or not, that also we check it. Then stores and stocks are very important in the case of government entities. So whether they have been properly verified or not will also come under our audit purview. And government companies also will come as a part of government audit. However, the provisions are not covered here. The provisions are already covered wherein Companies Act 2013. So duties and power will be exercised as per the Companies Act 2013. Clear? Now you have three powers of CAG. CAG is nothing but the auditor only. Auditor will have same duties. So can they inspect the books of accounts present anywhere? Yes. Can they transmit information from one office to another? Can they ask for the information to be transmitted to them? Yes. Can they conduct inquiries from any person they require to? Yes, with respect to their audit. So three things. One is inspection. To inspect any office of accounts under the control of India, that is union or state, including official responsible for creation of initial or subsidiary accounts. So whether any books, any accounts, any documents they want to check at the union and state, can they check it? Yes. Transmission, to require that any accounts, books, papers, and other documents which deal with or are otherwise relevant to the transaction and audit be sent to specified places. So can CAG say at this particular office of mine, I want these documents? Yes. Are you required to submit? Yes. Inquiry, can they put such questions and make such observation as he may consider necessary in the preparation of accounts or to report which is his duty to prepare. So for the purpose of preparation, whatever information he requires, can he seek for it? Yes. So he has three duties: inspection, transmission, and inquiry. In carrying out audit, CAG has the power to dispense with any part of the detailed audit of any accounts or class of transaction and to apply such limited checks in relation to such accounts or transaction as he may determine. Now you understand there are so many government companies, so many government corporations, there are so many government departments, there are so many government entities, there are so many substantially financed entities. Do you think CAG is going to take the audit of all of them? And how we do the regular audits, like checking each and every item of financial statement, are we going to check everything? The possibility is not there. So because of that, which to check, which not to check, where to do detailed checking, where to do less checking, which can be ignored, which has to be taken into account, all of this discussion will be done. All the decisions will be taken only by whom? CAG. Okay, 100% decisions will come from Comptroller Auditor General of India. Clear? All right.